This is February, and as commonly known, is the month of love. I don't know why we call it the month of love. And this goes to the young people and those who would like to get into the space of love again. Maybe you were there before and things didn't work out. And now you're getting into a phase where you want to get into love again. This is my challenge to you this Valentine's. What kind of person are you choosing? Remember again our foals who came out of season to choose their mates. Who do you want to choose? Hello there and happy Valentines. This is February, and as commonly known, is the month of love. I don't know why we call it the month of love. Strategic Lenses this week is going to bring into you just a more realization of where Valentine's has come from. And as you will have noticed, it honestly doesn't have any relation to romance and love, especially from the name Valentine. But anyway, this is another episode. Welcome to Strategic Lenses. My name is Susan Atieno. It's such a pleasure to have you here. Thank you for your feedback, and I need to check on you guys. I hope you're okay. I hope you're really good. If you're not okay, please seek help. This is the year where you need to be intentional about your mental health, especially this season of love. People commit suicide, people get depressed, people get sick, people get sad. Please don't be one of those. Please just be okay. Okay? Now, having gotten that out of the way, this is my message for you on this Valentine's Day. I'm going to look at a sneak peek of the history and where it came from, and my message for you this Valentine's. Now, this is a mind-blowing fact. I was doing my research and I was like, wow. This is where Valentine's Day came from. In the 3rd century, like guys, we're in the 21st century. There were two guys called Valentines, okay? Valentine. And they were executed in different years on the 14th of February by one Roman emperor called Claudius II in the 3rd century. And why were they executed? Now, the first Valentine, who was referred to as Saint Valentine of Tenri, had been secretly officiating marriages for Roman soldiers against the wishes of the emperor. Yeah, so that's why he was executed. So he was a martyr, okay? And then that made him a proponent of love. Now, I think research that doesn't show the difference in years, but a few years later, there was another Valentine. Remember I said there were two people called Valentines, yeah? He was also called Saint Valentine. He wrote his first Valentine greeting to a young girl that he tutored and fell in love with while he was imprisoned for the armies, for the reasons outlined above. So this other Valentine fell in love with a young girl, yeah? So the second Valentine, or the other Valentine, wrote his first Valentine greeting to this young girl that he used to tutor. And when he was tutoring her, he apparently fell in love with her while he was in prison. So he was also a prisoner, but he was tutoring and he fell in love. So that is why he was martyred. Now, these are two Valentines, and it's a Catholic sort of celebration that was given. And then because they were called Valentines, they were called Saint Valentines. But little is known about these martyrs that after 1969, the feast was removed. So the Catholic Church actually established Saint Valentine's Day to honor the two men who were martyred in the 3rd century, okay? But after 1969, there was little information about these two. And then the Catholic Church actually removed that celebration from the calendars. So the question is, how did it actually become, a lovey-dovey sort of day? Now we fast forward to after 1969, and thanks to a guy called Geoffrey Chaucer, I hope, guys, I'm a Luo, I hope I pronounced it well. My S and my SH fine, but the guy was called Geoffrey Chaucer, who was a poet, yeah? In one of his works, he wrote called The Parliament of Fowls. Fowls are birds. and it was written on the 14th century. Okay? Now, this Parliament of Fools was considered, the 14th February in Britain is considered as the first day in spring in Britain, because it was the beginning of when the birds mated. It was the mating season for birds, appropriate for a celebration of affection. So this guy is a poet, and he's written these works called the Parliament of Fools. Almost at the same time where, on the 14th February, it's considered the first day of spring in Britain. And what happened on this day? There was a beginning of birds mating in the mating season that was appropriate for a celebration of affection. So he referred to one statement in his writing. He said, it's all about birds gathering to choose their mates. Yeah, it's all about birds gathering to choose their mates. And he wrote a phrase that brought about the Valentines to the world. Yeah, he said, for this was on St. Valentine's Day, when every foal came there his mate to take. You see, like, it's poetic, yeah? When every soul came there his mate to take. So people, after that, reading that Parliament of Fools, started, picked it up and started writing letters to their loved ones. This is where the Victorian men wooed their women with flowers. This is where Richard Cadbury, the founder, it seems like the second generation of the founder of Cadbury, created the first heart-shaped box of chocolates, and the rest is history. So, I read about this and I was like, wow, it's a good thing to bring up to speed to my audiences, just to understand, just a little history of where Valentine's came from. Now, I would like to now come back to celebrating this day. And some of us believe in it, some of us don't believe in it, and some of us say, love your loved one all through season, in and out of season, and it's true. It's just that it's a highlight of the celebration, so it's okay to celebrate your person. But I would like to bring 3 major points, and I'm just going to be done with this episode. That, number 1, what are the things that you do with your loved one that are only known to you? Now, looking at the secret, the first St. Valentine, he used to officiate weddings for, when he was in prison, he used to officiate weddings in secret, yeah? And that is why he was martyred. Now, the question is, do you have your personal language with your loved one? Like, what is it that you say in secret? What is it that is only your code? What is it that when you look at each other and something happened and it's just magical and powerful that yes, that is what you mean. This is what has happened. Those things tend to cement you together, tend to bring you closer together. There's some of us who, with our loved ones, when we go into our houses, we look like we are PR couples. We call them PR couples. You're going out there, in the public, you look like you have chemistry, you put it all together, you smile at each other, but deep down, that's usually not the case. And there's so many people in this boat. But when you come back home and it's just the two of you, or you're now in the bedroom and it's just the two of you, the conversation changes, and it is sad. It is so sad to be in such a place. Like, think about the history of the Valentines that we've spoken about, and if it's something that you want to celebrate and you have your spouse, or you have your girlfriend or your boyfriend, do you have things that have cemented you in secret before you go out into the public? Because it starts from the two of you in secret. That's number 1. Number 2 is, who is your mate? This is now from what this poet wrote about. Remember, when the birds during spring or summer, I think, during spring, when the birds came out to mate, they came to choose their mates. Yeah. So the second question is, who is your mate? Who are you choosing these Valentines? Now, if you're married, who are you constantly choosing? Are you there with your wife or with your husband, but in your mind, you are choosing someone else? That is very unfair. Number 2, are you either in a relationship or engaged or, almost getting married, and you don't find yourself choosing this person again and again? Who is your mate? Who are you choosing these Valentines? For those who are married, I would advise that choose your person deliberately, Yeah, don't wish to be outside there with someone else. This is my message to you today. Choose to choose your person. If there are flowers that they love, give them the flowers. If they're a handbag that they've always wanted, go an extra step and choose them again and again. Remember those days you used to date? Yeah, choose them again and again. The second part to who are you choosing is a message to the young people. And this goes to the young people and those who would like to get into the space of love again. Maybe you were there before and things didn't work out. I know you're getting into the second, a phase where you want to get into love again. This is my challenge to you this Valentine's. What kind of person are you choosing? Remember again our foals who came out of season to choose their mates. Who do you want to choose? What kind of person do you want to choose? Is it someone that you have common interests with? Or nyinyi ni wale wa, you know, right, left, you don't have any place where you have common interests. I would challenge you today that if you are in a space that you are going to choose a mate, please look at someone whom you have common interests with. Please, it makes a whole difference. Trust me when I tell you that. Number 2, they need to be accountable to a higher being. Yeah, they need to be accountable to someone else who is not you. That grounds them, that commits them, because then they are responsible for something or someone else. They're responsible to be accountable for someone else. It could be, for me, number 1, it's God. Please be responsible or accountable to God. Number 2, have an accountability partner. It could be a mentor. Make sure they have someone that they talk to. Make sure they have someone that always puts them on check, for example. And the third one is the basic principles of life. And I think I spoke about this in my episode when I did expectations. And I said things like kindness, being respectful, being a good communicator, being visionary. What are those things that are 5 key things in your list that you do not want to compromise about? That is the kind of person to choose for in a mate. Okay? It's just my random pieces of advice this Valentine's. And the last point that I'd like to bring up this Valentine's is expectations again. People get thoroughly disappointed. Ladies, are we there? Yes, I wanted flowers, I wanted chocolates, I wanted shoes, I wanted a handbag, I wanted a dinner. My question to you, have you told your person about the things that you want, or they just exist in your head? Guys, 2023, it was the episode I released, I think in January, when we were starting January. And we said this time, we are going to make our expectations known. Remember, they are conscious. Remember, they are you have to speak them out. You have to say them. We are not going to assume and say that he knew that I loved flowers. He knew that I wanted to go on vacation. He knew that I wanted chocolates. But guys, let's reduce the disappointment for ourselves and say that which you want. If you want a dinner, you know, say it out. If you want a vacation, say it out. Like, just plant the seed. Just say, this Valentine's, what do you think? Why don't we do this? Just plant the seed there. You never know when it will grow or when it will be surprised. And remember, the mere fact that you made your expectations known is a stepping stone to reduce the disappointment. But at least say it. But I've also want to talk to our men. On the other hand, please do something for your person. Please. Don't just let the day pass and say, as we celebrate love every day of our lives. Fine. But it's the high season. It's the season of... Okay. Let me not use that word, where people go to choose their mates. So please do something this Valentine's. And yeah, I think that is what I wanted to share. That this Valentine's, I really wish you love and light. I really wish that you're surrounded with people that you love. I really wish that it's a high season to express your love and do it all the year through. Put out your expectations that if you're choosing, choose right. The feelings of love are feelings that all of us deserve to experience the right way. Okay? So happy Valentine's. And let me know what you think about this episode. Until next time, goodbye.